Hey guys, Modest Neko here. Welcome to the Cat Clan. So today I'm going to be doing a discussion / review, whatever you'd call it, for episode 1 of season 21 of South Park. The episode was called White People Renovating Houses, so if you haven't seen this episode, it might be a good idea to go watch it first and then come back and definitely watch my video. Because I definitely don't want you to be spoiled in any way, so, since I'm just going to be talking about the episode. But what you also see on the screen is a drawing I did, inspired by the events that happened in the show. You may not be able to tell exactly what it is, but it's Samantha hugging Heidi due to what had happened in the episode. So basically I'm just going to be, lining or drawing or whatever this, while I'm talking about the themes or like discussing my thoughts on what happened in the episode. And then if you want to see the full finished picture, then I'll be doing a speed paint video later. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so when starting off the episode, the kids were playing around with Alexa, which is Google's type of Siri or whatever. And this is something I'd totally do if I had Alexa, where they were going like, oh, add like what, booger cum bags or whatever to my shopping list or something like that, and just totally playing nasties with it. And I'm proud of Butters. When he went and did one, he didn't say like, oh, add rainbows to my shopping list or whatever, like he did the one time with that Mad Lib thing. Nah, he went ahead and did a nasty too. So our little Butters is growing up. But anyway, so they're having fun with that, and then enters Heidi. Now this is where the controversy begins, because I guess Meme's opinion on this was that Heidi had come in and ruined their fun. Like, she should have called first and checked if he was up to hanging out and such like that. Now, here's my thoughts on that. Yes and no for that. Because while, yes, Heidi shouldn't have assumed that Cartman would just be fine with her coming over and everything, her intent wasn't to ruin their fun. You could tell. She was in there smiling. She was seeing what everyone was doing. Like, oh, yeah, cool, he's having fun. And then she just said, hey, babe, how you doing? And that's when he gets all pissy for what seems to be no reason. That's when she gets irritated, because it obviously seems that he's been acting like this for a while with what she says, like, oh, you're just gonna be like that again, not talk about your feelings. But guys don't really talk about their feelings, so that's one thing there. However, going back to the fact of how she wasn't really wrong just coming in, is that if you remember in season 20, Cartman and Heidi did everything together. They were holding hands constantly. Whether he was going to hang out with his friends or just doing whatever, they were just always together. So while Heidi may have been a little sumptuous that he would want to hang out with her, I mean, after doing everything together for the longest time, I mean, I'd pretty much assume it too. Like, oh, hey, my boyfriend always wants me to be with him, so I should go see what he's doing, stuff like that. And the friends leaving, yeah, they thought, oh, it's kind of awkward and everything. She technically did start bitching him out in front of his friends, but that's because he was being a dick for no reason. Now, here's the thing about that, though, is, I guess the reason that he started being that way toward Heidi is because of last season, how Butters basically convinced him about, oh, women only want men for their jokes and their semen. And that was basically it. And that kind of made the ship start dying. So yeah, Hyman is basically dead, or at least getting there. And I used to really ship Hyman, but once this started happening, then I pretty much stopped shipping it, because Heidi is really sweet. She's gotten much more of a character these past couple seasons, and she really does deserve better. So, moving on to the next fact, about the white people renovating houses. So basically Randy is doing like a reality TV show thing for flipping houses, which Matt Stone and Trey Parker do that perfectly with like the camera angles and like showing all the houses and everything like that. So that was pretty awesome, and it's hilarious how Randy's all enthusiastic and Sharon's just like, yep, I decorate the houses, I do this and that, and Randy's all, yeah, and I do the construction. It was just like such a great contrast between the two, and just a little fun side story to that also connect later, as you see. So going back to what's going on with Alexa, is you could see Cartman getting more and more irritated with Heidi calling, which sadly some relationships do get like this, to where the guy starts getting sick of the girl and like irritated every time she calls and stuff like that, and thinks that everything she says that he's like she's ragging on him, bitching at him, stuff like that, which some parts maybe she was, but he really wasn't acting the best. So it's a relationship, you fight. But one thing it showed in the scene where he's going to bed is that what was it, he had Alexa define subservient, and basically saying that it's basically saying that it's obedient to authority. And that shows there what we pretty much always knew, but it wasn't put into words before. That Cartman likes people he can control. Girls, guys, whatever. He likes people that he can control and who respect his authority. So, obviously, Alexa here, since she's not a real person, she doesn't have to take anything from the relationship. She can just give, and Cartman can take everything. And she's obedient to Cartman's authority because that's how she was created. Now, a real person like Heidi can't exactly be like that. I mean, she can, but that's when problems occur. Now, I'm gonna keep jumping back and forth with this, but that's basically because that's how the episode did. It would go in between Heidi and Cartman's thing and Alexa, and then go to how it connects into the "they took our jobs," which obviously that was like one of my favorite jokes in South Park, was the redneck saying "they took our jobs." And something people may not know, my OC Samantha and her sister Alice, their uncle is actually Daryl Weathers, who is the redheaded redneck who was like the main redneck in this. So that's a fun little fact there if you didn't know that. But anyway, the flag waving and the whole "there's a bee in here" and waving the flag at it and cooling off the soup with it. That was just pure gold. And Randy trying to do his reality TV show while these rednecks are protesting Alexa. It was just, it was an interesting side story. Like I thought it was kind of funny. So now we're back to Cartman and Heidi again, guys. So you can just let me know for the next video if you want me to just categorize everything together rather than doing the flow of the episode, how it went. Like basically do just the Cartman Heidi stuff and then just the redneck stuff, or however. You can just let me know in the comment section if you'd rather me do that or keep going by the flow of the video. But anyway, back to Cartman and Heidi. Cartman was crying about Heidi mentally abusing him, which I guess if you think that her yelling at you for being an ass is mental abuse, then I guess she's abusing the hell out of you. But otherwise, Cartman is probably the one doing it, and really he doesn't have the mental capacity to be in a relationship. Because he might have had feelings for Heidi at one time, but he just, I don't know, he loves himself too much to really love anyone else, and he always has an ulterior motive. Now I guess that I will try the categorizing all the parts together for the second half of the video, and you guys can tell me which you like better. So I'll start off with the with finishing up my thoughts on the Cartman and Heidi stuff. So basically, Heidi ends up going to Cartman's house, asking if he's there, to his mom, who answers the door, and she just looks really sad when she's not able to actually talk to him, and gives the mom a message. And this is just like a really heartbreaking scene, because you just see how much she cares for Cartman, and basically she's holding on to the Cartman that was there in season 20. And unfortunately, that Cartman isn't there anymore. It was like a transformed Cartman who no one had seen before. No one could understand why she liked him, but everyone who saw how they acted together could see why she liked him. But unfortunately, he's turned back into the Cartman that he always was. And while, yes, you kind of need to be yourself in a relationship, he kind of needs to respect Heidi still. Like, he can be himself, but Heidi should be the exception if they're going to be together in a relationship. So that's what kind of makes it a problem, to where Heidi does deserve better, while the old, or shall we say, the new improved Cartman was a pretty good match for Heidi. This Cartman, who we all know and may love, depending on how you see it, may not be the best fit for Heidi, who's just such a sweet girl and can get easily taken advantage of, because she's willing to give everything up for Cartman. That's what her, what she tells Cartman's mom to say to him pretty much says. Just like, yeah, I'll start giving 100%, and that just... oh, it's just so heartbreaking. She just wants to give everything for him, and he just wants a girl who will do everything that he says, and just... oh, goodness, I can't even get my thoughts together now. So, like, when Cartman does end up breaking up with Heidi in the end, he basically says that she's messed up, she's mentally abusive, such like that. Heidi's very confused, because obviously she doesn't know what she did wrong, and why he's breaking up with her, or why he says she's messed up, and stuff like that. And Cartman says something that is just so ironic, because he doesn't even see that it's himself doing this. He says, anyone can convince themselves that they are the victim in a relationship, and that love shouldn't hurt. Well, like, love does hurt. Love is torture, is what I've heard. Unfortunately, I don't have any actual experience with that, but if you love someone, you should be willing to give your all for them, just like Heidi says. Which, by the way, the whole "I love you" and then "I love you too" and Cartman mimicking her with it, well, it was funny just because Cartman's an asshole, but at the same time it was still heartbreaking because of what it's doing to Heidi. But anyway, Cartman saying that anyone can convince themselves they're the victim in a relationship. Cartman is doing just that. He's convincing himself that he's the victim in the relationship, when really it's the other way around. That Heidi is the victim of Cartman's mental instability that he claims that she has. That being mentally abusive would pretty much be saying you're shit, you're not worth anything, or like just playing with the emotions and just making their heart hurt. And you could see that Heidi was crying quite a bit of times, like how I'm drawing her in this picture now. Like when she answered the door for Cartman coming over, she was crying at that time, and just... yeah, so I was actually really happy at the end of the episode when Cartman broke up with Heidi, as horrible as that sounds, because it's like, oh yeah, you deserve better. Now, I'm not going to say anything about what happens in the next episode until the next review video, because I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, you'll get my thoughts about that in that video. But anyway, let me go on to the other part of the episode, which was the white people renovating houses. I will backtrack to that. So basically what we got from this is that you, unfortunately, with how the world is now, you can't really get a job that's dignified or that makes you feel worth anything until you go to college, which, as we all know, college is expensive, it can be hard to get into, stuff like that. But exactly what Daryl is saying about he was expecting a job that was dignified, not something as degrading as saying, boop, boop, I've added Carrera's whatever gay tiles to your shopping list. But it's like, it's not exactly like that. But I have felt that before when working in whatever I can get, which is usually fast food jobs, that most of the time the jobs are degrading. People can treat you bad, like they can take out all their anger on you. And unless you go to college, you can't really get a, quote, good job, though most of the jobs are still pretty bad anyway. But what it also tells us is that, basically, Randy was asking Daryl, like, what was wrong with him, and that he needs to break down the foundation. And while they were literally talking about the house, you could get a message at the, under the surface of it, basically telling us that even though the world is messed up right now, you can't just hold on to what was there in the past. You have to move on. You can't just stay in the past remembering things. Yeah, I remember that. Anyway, it may be hard, but you have to move on, and just to be able to let new things into your life, you need to demolish the, quote, foundation of what you had there before to make yourself a better person. At least that's the message that I got out of it. Matt Stone and Trey Parker may have been trying to say something different with that, but that's pretty much the message that I got. Oh yeah, and one more note, when Cartman got all the Google devices to, like, do the choir of, just saying the nasties and everything, like, that was amazing. If I had found all of those in the trash and, realized I could do that type of thing with them, then hell yeah, I would definitely do that. Like, that is freaking hilarious. But anyway, guys, I think that that's all for now. Again, if you want to see the finished version of this picture, then I'll be doing a speed paint later, and then you'll be able to see the finished result of that. But if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button, or let me know in the comments section, and give me some critique on what I could do better, or what I did good, because this is my first attempt, but I definitely want people to enjoy. I don't want people to get bored. And let me know your opinions about the episode. Let's start a discussion. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.